The early morning sun painted the streets of Seattle in a soft golden hue. The city was just waking up, coffee shops opening their doors, business professionals hurrying to work, and joggers weaving through the sidewalks. Among them, Jeff Bezos walked at a steady pace, his mind already occupied with the day's meetings. As he reached a quiet corner near a small park, something made him slow down. Just outside a closed bookstore, an elderly man sat on the pavement, hunched over a pile of scattered papers. His tattered coat barely shielded him from the morning chill. Before we continue this story, let us know where you're watching from. If you enjoy stories like this, subscribe to the channel, because tomorrow we have another special story for you. Unlike most passers-by who barely glanced at him, Jeff took a moment to observe. The man wasn't holding a sign asking for money. Instead, he was sketching, furiously scribbling complex diagrams on worn-out pieces of cardboard. Curiosity sparked, Jeff stepped closer. The man, deeply engrossed in his work, didn't notice him. His unkempt gray beard and hollowed cheeks spoke of years on the streets, but his hands, steady and precise, moved with purpose. Jeff finally spoke. "What are you working on?" The man's pencil froze. Slowly, he looked up, eyes sharp despite the fatigue in them. For a brief second, a flicker of recognition crossed his face as he studied Jeff. Then, he exhaled. "You wouldn't understand." Jeff smirked slightly. "Try me." The weight of that moment hung in the air. Little did either of them know this conversation was about to change everything. The old man hesitated, eyeing Jeff Bezos cautiously. Most people either ignored him or tossed him spare change out of pity. But this man, one of the wealthiest in the world, was standing in front of him, waiting for an answer. With a sigh, the man lifted one of his cardboard sketches and held it up. "It's a compact, self-sustaining power unit," he muttered, "designed to generate clean energy with minimal waste." Jeff's brow furrowed as he studied the rough blueprint. The lines, the calculations, the precision. It wasn't the work of just anyone. "This is complex," Jeff murmured, tilting the cardboard for a better look. "Where did you learn to design this?" The old man let out a dry chuckle. "MIT, class of '78. Jeff's eyes widened slightly. "You went to MIT? "Yeah. Worked for a few big tech firms, did some government, contracting, even had my own startup back when people still used fax machines." He gestured vaguely to the sketches. "Had some ideas, some patents. But then, life happened." His voice trailed off, his grip tightening on the cardboard. Jeff folded his arms. "What happened?" The man exhaled, staring at the pavement, as if replaying a lifetime of choices. "Business failed. Lost everything. My wife got sick. Medical bills drained whatever I had left. By the time I looked up, the world had moved on without me." He gestured around him. "And here I am." A long silence stretched between them. Jeff finally spoke. "Do you still believe in your ideas?" The old man blinked, caught off guard. "What?" Jeff's gaze was steady. "You built something once. You can do it again." The man let out a bitter laugh. "With what? A cardboard prototype and a pocket full of nothing?" Jeff smirked. "Maybe you just need the right backer." Something. Air shifted. For the first time in years, the old man felt something he thought he had lost forever. Hope. The old man, whose name Jeff finally learned was Walter, sat on the park bench, staring at his own sketches as if seeing them for the first time. Jeff stood beside him, arms crossed, thinking. "Walter, your designs aren't just ideas. They're ahead of their time. And I don't believe in wasted potential." Walter scoffed, shaking his head. I appreciate the pep talk, but I've heard it before. Investors get excited, then back out when they see the risks. Jeff smirked. I'm not just any investor. Jeff took a step forward. Here's what I'm offering: a workspace, a team, the resources to rebuild what you lost. No strings attached, just one condition. Walter arched an eyebrow. And what's that? You don't give up this time. Walter exhaled sharply, gripping the worn edges of his cardboard sketches. The years of rejection, of doors slamming in his face, of sleeping on cold pavement. He had learned not to trust opportunities. That seemed too good to be true. Jeff saw the hesitation. I've bet on crazy ideas before. People said online shopping would never replace malls. People said cloud computing was a waste of money. Look where we are now. Walter swallowed. And you think my designs are worth saving? Jeffy nodded. I think you are. A lump formed in Walter's throat. No one had said those words to him in decades. For the first time in years, he wasn't just another forgotten man on the street. He was a man with something to fight for again. The hum of quiet conversation filled the modern workspace, the sleek glass walls reflecting the bright city skyline beyond. In the center of the room, Walter stood at a long table, surrounded by blueprints, sketches, and prototype pieces. His hands, once rough from years of struggle, now moved with purpose. Jeff Bezos leaned against the doorframe, watching as Walter explained his design to a small group of engineers. It had only been a few weeks since that morning in the park, but Walter was already transforming. His beard was neatly trimmed, his clothes were clean, and most importantly, his eyes burned with the same brilliance he had once thought was lost forever. One of the engineers turned to Jeff. You were right. His work is incredible. Jeff smiled. I had a feeling. Walter glanced up, noticing Jeff watching. He hesitated for a moment, then stepped forward. I still don't know why you did this. Jeff shrugged. Because people don't stop being brilliant just because the world stops believing in them. Walter's throat tightened, but he forced a small chuckle. So what now? I just start over? Jeff extended a hand. No. You move forward. Walter stared at the outstretched hand, the weight of the moment sinking in. Then, with steady resolve, he shook it. The past no longer defined him. The future was his to build. And for the first time in years, Walter wasn't just surviving. He was inventing again. Do you believe that one opportunity can change a person's life? Tell us in the comments. And if this story inspires you, subscribe now, because tomorrow we have another powerful story just for you.